The U.S. against Czechoslovakia. The Czechs beat Norway today 10-4, while the Soviets walloped Poland 12-1. In the NHL at the Coliseum, impressive group of injured players out of action, including Gretzky, Curry, Bossy, and Trottier. But the Islanders' success over Edmonton continued. They made a 10 in a row over the Oilers, a 5-3 victory, 2 goals for Denis Potvin, this getting the Islanders going early first. His other goal, an empty netter. Final minute, first period, Butch Goring extends to 3-zip, drilling it by Andy Moog. But Edmonton did come back, and one-time Ranger Rick Chartraw was able to tie it right here at 6 minutes into the third period. Here's the game winner. Midway through the third, again, it's John Tonelli with a game winner, doing it off the rebound. Islanders 5, Edmonton 3, taking over first place in the Patriot. Beaten by Montreal 5-2, a goal and 2 assists, Frank, for the Flower. That's Guy Lafleur, including this, the rapper, his 22nd of 3 in a row. Patrick Sundstrom, 2 goals.
But the old college try just wasn't enough. Another loss in overtime as the Islanders beat the Devils 5-4. The Devils could have quit early in this one. They were down 4-1 in the third period. Then it was 4-2. And then Isles' Gordy Denis gives the puck away. And all of a sudden, puck's in the net. 4-3. Time running out. Right here, pretty play right there. Little tuck in. Yeah, and it's 4-4. Things getting very, very tense. But we know what happens from there. John Tonelli races around the defense, shoots the puck, gets in the net, past Mel Bridgman. Goodbye game, goodbye Chico Resch in goal. Hello puck in the net, good night Devils. Once again, final overtime, Islanders 5, Devils 4, giving the defending champs the sweep of the weekend series of the 2 other local hockey teams. Things weren't much better for the Rangers at Madison Square Garden last night following their Saturday night loss to the Islanders. They dropped one to the Philadelphia Flyers, and a tough one it was, also in overtime. We pick up the action in this one in the third period. The score is tied at 1-1, but not for long. Face off in the Flyers' end. Don Maloney tries once, twice, bangs it home for a 2-1 short-lived lead. 35 seconds later, Ron Sutter bangs one right there in from behind the net to his brother Rick, who sends the game into overtime at 2-2. But the intermission is longer than the OT.
And back comes Kelly, couldn't flip it by Craig Levy.
The puck, fans on his first shot.
In overtime, the Sabres beat the Flyers 5-4. Let's go to the videotape. It was 4-2 Flyers in the third period. Foligno with a 55-footer bullseye beats Bob Froese, who froze and made it 4-3. Minute 57 later, Andrechuk stuffs it in, sends the game into overtime. With 51 seconds left in the overtime, Housley puts it in, 5-4 Sabres. The Flyers lost the first overtime. No, sir. Today, the Mets released Bradley, who had 202 in 78 games. Want to see a slow referee? Let's go to the videotape. Boxing from Dallas tonight.
Intercepted by Dwayne Sutter, who comes in on goal, shoots, he scores! The Jets make a mistake, and the Islanders pounce on it.
They're opportunists. There's many of the Islanders can put the puck in the net, and one of them just did.
Lafontaine, who comes over center ice. Lafontaine to Bourne. Bob Bourne to Lafontaine. Back of the net to Bourne. Bourne trying to center. It's on the doorstep. They score! No goal. Waved off. Coming off ice from skates, and now he goes to complain to referee Bob. Right in on goal, and what a save by Sotard as he missed on the stick side. In the lead.
The puck changed direction in front of Sotard. They won the face-off. It was important. Trottier wins the face-off. Denis Potvin lets go with a tremendous blast. And it changed direction. You can see Trottier head for the front of the net. There's the shot. Brian Trottier tipped it in front. You see, with 31 seconds remaining, have taken the lead.
Now Sotard heads for the Winnipeg bench. The Islanders trying to clear the puck out. Could not. McLean is checked. Got it in front to Deblois, and he couldn't pick up the pass. And he Potvin back to the net. Ran into a check. Puck comes around to Bossy on right wing, and he uses the right wing. Missed McLean with the pass. Potvin to Trache. Couldn't get a stick on it. Now he does. And there's the horn, ending this game in regulation time. The Islanders defeat the Winnipeg Jets for the first time this year. The record will be a win, 2 losses, and no ties. The final scores, the New York Islanders 4, the Winnipeg Jets a total of 38, by the New York Islanders 10, for a game total of 38 mark. An unassisted goal for Sutter is 16th. Is yours, Eddie.
Well, thank you, Jags. It wasn't too tough tonight because between Pat Lafontaine, I thought he played a fine hockey game, but really, it was Flatley. He assisted on 1 goal, got another goal, and the goal he scored was a beauty. He dug the puck out of the corner, came out in front of the ending game. Pat Flatley, I know you're a little bit young, but I'll have it for you. This Bud is for you. You're the Budweiser star of the game. There he is walking out from the side, gets away from Mantha, and he drilled it into the lower part of the net.
And he'll receive from Asta Sport a collection of their fabulous
The big story, the Islanders and the Rangers on the road, the Knicks and the Nets at home. First, the hockey. Up in Toronto tonight, not exactly a defensive battle. The final score, the Islanders 11, the Maple Leafs 6. And a monumental night for U.S. Olympian Pat LaFontaine. Only his 2nd game as an Islander right here. His first NHL goal. This time the game at 1. But wait, there's more. Here's LaFontaine again, camped on the doorstep, bless you. And bingo, right here. It's not over yet. Keep an eye on number 16, Pat LaFontaine. Here it is, the hat trick. 19-year-old Pat LaFontaine, 3 goals tonight to go along with 2 assists. 11-6 Islanders. It's got everybody
teams fighting much of the year for the top spot. The Islanders are ahead, but with the teams playing each other 7 times within the division, there is plenty of time for rivalries to get even more intense. One of the hot ones has always been the Flyers and the Islanders, and this one lived up to billing. It was very close, tied at 1 when Butch Goring does the work behind the net, and the forechecking produces a goal to Clark Gillies and a 2-1 lead. Now more battling as the second period comes to an end. New York and White still leads it 2-1. But within a minute of the third period, watch Mike Bossy as they work the puck around the Islanders. The quick trigger on the near side, and it's suddenly a 3-1 game. Now the newest of the Islanders, Pat LaFontaine, wins the face-off, and wham, it's 4-1. LaFontaine's 4th NHL goal since joining the Islanders just, what, a matter of days ago. The Islanders go on to win and up their division. Them a stride to Yari Curry down the wing. Once again, it's called a clinic, and it's why Edmonton
makes this thing possible. This is the first goal. Bossy, that's just a piece of cake for him, for his 43rd. Then it's Pierce on to Flatley, who just joined the team. Perfect shot inside the post to make it 2-1. Then Gilbert feeds LaFontaine. He splits the defense. He now has 6 goals with 2 tonight. Fakes to the backhand, goes to the forehand. That's his first one. Then Sinelli feeds LaFontaine again, and he does the reverse, fakes the forehand, goes to the backhand. They win it 9-5. The kid has got a dynamite start. In Philadelphia, Flyers win at 4.
Pierre LaRouche coming to the right. Chico Rush out of position.
Beat the Devils 5-3. 2 goals for Pierre LaRouche. He now has 46. In Boston, Islanders and Bruins in a well-played game ended a 3-3 overtime tie. The Isles won with his 46th of the season shorthanded goal. Bruins with a 3-1 lead midway through the second, but it was Mike Bossy snapping out of a goal-scoring slump. Bossy, his 46th of the season, late second, drawing the Islanders to within 1, 3-2. And now Bossy again.
In the NHL, Bruins up in front. On a shorthanded goal coming up here.
And it's 3-2 after 2. Then Bossy beats goaltender Doug Keens again with 5:35 to go, tying it at 3. A scoreless overtime followed, and the final was a 3-3 deadline. On the
place Washington, of course, in hot pursuit with only 3 games left in the regular season. Last night at the Nassau Coliseum, the Islanders went into overtime against the North Stars, but could only salvage a 4-4 tie. First period action, Mike Bossy moved closer to his 7th straight 50-goal season. Bossy collected number 48 to tie the score at 1. Now let's jump to the third period. Isles trailed by 1, 3 scores in 35 seconds. 2 for the Islanders. First, Pat Lafontaine scored tied at 3. Then Bobby Bourne, just 12 seconds later, Isles led the North Stars 4-3 at this point. But that didn't last very long as Al McAdam found the bullseye just 23 seconds later to knot the score at 4-all. An overtime period didn't change things, so record last night's Nassau Coliseum game as a tie, the second in a row for the Islanders, skating against the Sabres. Buffalo on top 1-0 when Dave Andrechuk scores. Second period, Buffalo took a 2-0 lead when John Tucker found the range from in close. Watch him right here, comes around the side, stuffs it in. Islanders didn't fold. Watch Greg Gilbert. His goal made it 2-1 after 2 periods. Gilbert with the score. Third period action now. Islanders showed what they are made of. They came back and came back again. Here, Bobby Bourne on a breakaway, scored tied at 2-all. Buffalo took a 3-2 lead, but then Pat LaFontaine tied the score at 3. Finally, Brent Sutter put the Islanders ahead for the first time. He scored on a deflection of Potvin's shot. Islanders led 4-3. Greg Gilbert got the last score on a breakaway. So the final up in Buffalo tonight, Islanders 5, Sabres 3. Islanders hold on to first.
In the battle for the Patrick Division title. No score through 2 periods. Brent Sutter from behind the net, though, hits a minute 33 into the third. 1-0 Islanders. 5 minutes later, Mike Bossy, with his 50th goal of the season, puts in the quick wrister, putting in the Islanders in the driver's seat. 2-0. Mike Gardner made it 2-1 at the 11:33 mark, but with time running out, the Caps goalie on the bench, the Caps missed their chance right there, but Bossy doesn't. He comes up with the open netter, his 51st goal of the year. The Islanders winning it, final of 3-1. So the Whalers winners, so were the
Capitals 1. Scoreless over the first 2. Third period, this is gorgeous. Brent Sutter circling the net, beats Pat Riggin, 1-0 Islanders. Then Mike Bossy with a milestone, his 50th goal, becoming the first man in NHL history to score 50 goals in 7 straight seasons. 2-0 Islanders. Final minute 8. The Caps pulling the goalie, Bossy all alone next Wednesday at the Nassau.
Range with both teams short 2 men. Midway through the second, Pat LaFontaine tied it up with his 13th goal in 15 games since the Olympics. Midway through the third, the Islanders 3-on-1. Brent Sutter won it with his 34th. 2-1 Islanders in Pittsburgh.
Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Isles beat the Rangers 4-1 and gave one of their best-of-5 Stanley Cup playoff series. Certainly a major factor in the Islanders' victory, the play of goalie Billy Smith, who simply shut the door on the Rangers tonight, keeping the puck out of the net. Second period action now. Rangers lead 1-0. They get sloppy in their own zone. Pat Flatley comes up with the puck and scores. It's tied 1-1. Still second period. Watch Bobby Bourne skates right in. Where's the Ranger defense? Bourne fakes and scores. It's 2-1 Islanders. Third period now, an insurance goal for the Isles. Greg Gilbert skates in, little head fake, beats Glenn Hanlon, 3-1 Isles. They never looked back, and Jerry Azar talked with the winners after the game.
Usually when you mention the name rookie, you say, well, rookies make mistakes, rookies in experience. Got a rookie hero here, Pat LaFontaine. You and Pat Flatley ignited the Islanders tonight, got the first goal, got the Islanders rolling against the Rangers.
Well, like I said earlier, it takes everyone to win, and everyone worked hard, and we just kept coming out there and working hard, and Glenn Hanlon came up with some big saves, and we just got our break, and Flatley scored a super goal, and we just kept going from there. Borney had a tremendous goal, so we just went from 4-1. Hopefully we'll continue tomorrow night.
Okay, Pat, Game 1 goes to the Islanders, Game 2 here tomorrow night. This is Jerry Azar, Channel 7 Eyewitness Sports.
Meanwhile, in Washington, Caps versus Flyers, and even the coaches are going at it. Flyers Bob McCammon and Caps Brian Murray. Third period, score tied 2-2. Caps on the power play. Dave Christian tries to get the puck in front. Loose puck, but a falling Mike Gartner swipes at it. It goes in. Caps lead 3-2. They win it 4-2. So the Islanders and Caps win their playoff openers.
Still Still down 1-0 in second period. The Isles strike back. Off the face-off, Greg Gilbert comes up with the puck. Gives to number 8, Pat Flatley. The shot scores. It's tied at 1. Final period. Brent Sutter, number 21, and Greg Gilbert combined on this play. Gilbert's got it. Bad defense there by Washington. Now watch this. Gilbert waits for the right minute for Sutter to come in, and then the shot beats Pat Riggin. The game winner, Brian Trottier, had an open netter. 3-1 Islanders win it. They lead the series 2-1, Game 4 tonight on the Caps' home ice. Now, I'm going to call this an upset. Now, on Sunday...
Last night, as you know, the Islanders beat Washington by a score of 3-1 in their usual opportunistic fashion. They were outshot and outplayed for much of the game, yet when the chips were down, the Islanders delivered Billy Smith's sparkle. Tonight, Washington assaulted them again, but Smith again withstood the onslaught of 3 power plays. Washington actually outshot the Islanders 8-4 in the first period. But the Isles make their shots count. Watch Brian Trottier in front. He scores. Islanders led 1-0 after 1 period. Now to the second period. Clark Gillies gets the puck out of the corner. Goring is behind the net. He feeds Gillies. Right here, he gets a second shot with the backhand. Islanders led 2-0. Wait, there's more. Poudelier got his first goal of the year. Put the Isles ahead 3-0 after 2 periods. Right there. Washington fought back. They got 2 scores in 34 seconds to make it 3-2 Isles, but Gillies made it 4-2. Bossy and into an empty net 5-2. That's how it ended. Isles now lead the series 3-1. Meanwhile, up in Montreal tonight, the Canadiens, who...
And Paul Boudelier sparked them to a 3-0 lead in the second period.
Here's Boudelier through a screen. Knocked down in front. They score! Trottier picks up the loose puck. The Islanders lead 1-0. Goring back of the net. Goring takes a look. Put it out in front. There's Gillies. He turns around. He scores! Gillies on the backhand. It's 2-0. Lafontaine unable to get around Bloomquist. Centers it. Boudelier is shot. Riggin the save. It was in the net. The light is on. It's 3-0.
The Caps rallied to get as close as 3-2 in the third period, thanks to goals by Bobby Carpenter and Dave Christian, before the Islanders put them away for good.
Long pass to Dwayne Sutter. Gillies comes in on left wing. Sutter holding on to it. Centered it in front. Gillies shoots. He scores! Gillies, his second of the night, and a happy 2-step. Here's Bossy with a break, an empty net, and he scores! Bossy into an empty net makes it 5-2.
And yes, Game 5 at the Nassau County Coliseum tomorrow.
Never filling, so ask for Bud Light. By manufacturers Hanover Trust, where our facts make you...
Changed, Fred. One of the more intriguing playoff matchups is the Islanders and Capitals. 4-time defending Cup champions have come alive after a spotty start in the playoffs. They blew open this series with 2 wins in Washington earlier this week. And tonight, New York was home and sensing the kill. Dave Christian for the Capitals in red, a beautiful centering pass from Bengt Gustafsson. Well, first the Caps will dump and chase and try to get tough in the corners, and it worked here. Here they intercept, and here's the pass from Gustafsson to Christian. He stops Billy Smith. Perfect first period for the Capitals. They led 2-0. Yet, the Islanders stormed back in the second period. The Caps unraveled. They just fell apart at the seams. Here we see on a shorthanded situation, Calor steals the puck behind the net, steals it from Bobby Carpenter, and puts the Islanders ahead 3-2. Finally, Pat Flatley will get the puck right in front. Watch this perfect power play to perfection. Pearson will fake the shot, send it to Flatley, and in one motion, wham, it's by Al Jensen. That made it 4-2. The Caps tried to close, but the Islanders simply too much. They had it every time they needed it, and superiority sure told the tale tonight. The Islanders played like they have been there so many times before. Washington has never been this deep into a playoff, and it showed as the Caps put a game effort together but couldn't sustain anything, and they lose in 5 games to the defending Cup champions. Now the Canadian crisis shifted to Quebec City tonight. The Quebec Nordiques in white against the Montreal Canadiens, a bitter rivalry. They split the first 4 games. There we see Jacques Lemaire, coach of the Canadiens. Central character of Game 5, though, Montreal's hot rookie goaltender Steve Penny. Point blank here. Mats Naslund made it 4-0 Montreal on this backhanded rebound shot past Danny Bouchard. Bouchard made some critical errors tonight in net for Quebec. Montreal scored 3 in the final period to blow it out. They got outshot by Quebec, but Steve Penny stopped all.
Let's take a look as Reinhardt with the puck makes the play. Eves
puts it in. McGinnis and Reinhardt assist on Mike Eves' power play goal at 9:22 of the second period. And goals by Jarvis and Christian. Brian Trottier got things started in the second period. He made it 2-1. Flatley, we saw his goal to make it 2-2. And Anders Kaller, with that goal, he stole the puck. And then he lost it. And then he got it back. He took it away from Bobby Carpenter and put it in unassisted, a shorthanded goal at 10:21. And they showed them in a go. Flatley to Pearson, back to Flatley, and without any more than a good motion toward the net, he put it in behind, 4-2, and a happy 20-year-old youngster from Toronto, Ontario. Point on a power play, and Bobby Carpenter gets his second goal of the playoffs from Christian and Gardner. As I mentioned, a power play also at 19:37.
The Expos 5-4. Big play in the fifth. Base.
Returning to the NHL playoffs tonight. I'm not rooting for anybody, but this seems more like it. Okay, the drive for 5 still very much alive. The New York Islanders, down 2-0 to Montreal, did what they had to do tonight. They came out, they really took it to the Canadiens. It was back to the Islanders style that we're used to. And here come the goals. Thomas Janssen on the power play in the first period, 1-0. Still in the first, just 13 seconds after that, they spring Greg Gilbert on the breakaway. Watch him beat Steve Penny. And it's 2-0. On to the second period, just 1:26 in. Watch, nobody touches Mike Bossy. He skates in unmolested, 3-0. Then the scramble behind the net. The puck comes out to number 9. Clark Gillies, the backhander, under Penny's legs. And it's 4-0. They were on their way. The Islanders would win this one 5-2. Here's Gilbert again on the breakaway. They are back in this series, a 5-2 final.
Mats Naslund was pulled down by that at all. He got a standing ovation for it later. Mike Bossy with a goal broke the tie. That made it 2-1. Then Denis, who had pulled down Naslund, atoned for that sin by scoring himself to make it 3-1. That series tied at
The Canadiens and New York Islanders resume their dynasty duel with their Wales final series tied at 2 games apiece. The irony of it all is that the always or usually high-flying Habitants are taking a page out of the book of another successful hockey team some 20 years ago, the Maple Leafs, then coached by Punch Imlach, who won 3 straight Stanley Cups in the mid-'60s by scoring the first goal of the game early and then lining everybody up on the blue line to play defense for the rest of the game. Montreal has usually scored the first goal of each playoff game this year, but they didn't in games 3 and 4 against the Isles. But maybe this will spur them on tonight. Yes, when you hear that, you know it's a hockey game, and the Canadiens, of course, won both games on home ice earlier against the Islanders. But what will be on the minds of everyone is something that happened in Game 4 Tuesday night, 7 minutes left. Watch the blatant charge by Brian Trottier on the Canadiens captain Bob Gainey, who laid stunned on the ice for a couple of minutes. The Canadiens and Islanders both say, hey, it's been a hard-hitting series, but the Canadiens haven't complained about anything, at least the players. Mario Tremblay quoted saying, until that hit by Trottier. Could be a little chippy tonight. But even with all the penalties, the Islanders aren't having problem killing them.
There was a lot of, I think, probably a little more on our side, and but it's fun. I enjoy that. You know, I've always said that the more you play, the better you play, and I've never wanted to complain about ice time, especially when it's lots.
But they're not taking the penalties just so Goring can get ice time.
No, I don't think any of us advocates that kind of hockey. That's for sure.
There were 4 or 5 crucial times in the game when taking pride in our penalty killing and in our power plays, and you know, there's games when it's going to win games for it.
A couple guys I talked to in the other room, one of whom was Steve Penny, said we played better tonight. We might have had a chance to win. You were the difference.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I thought I had a good game, but, you know, there's a little smoke being blown here, and, you know, you got to look over that, too. I thought both teams played very well. I thought our team had jump, and that's the big thing that our team needs. It's encouraging. We've come on each game, and we got to keep doing it.
Well, isn't that much smoke being blown? When you stop a penalty shot, yes, you're a big reason in why your team wins. So Game 5 tonight.
Identical formula. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. One team will establish firm control of this series.
Of 84. Will they face the New York Islanders or the Montreal Canadiens? With less than 5 minutes remaining in the second period and the teams deadlocked at one apiece, Gord Denis pulls down Matt Naslund. The Islanders have only faced 3 penalty shots in their history. All of them have failed twice against the Islanders, once 4. There's Gord Denis as he pulls down the speedy Swede, Matt Naslund, and he gets a penalty shot against Billy Smith. The first time Billy Smith has faced a penalty shot in playoff competition, and he makes it look easy as he takes away a backhand attempt by Naslund. Watch as he goes in, faces Billy Smith. Faked the shot, went to the backhand, and then had it taken away. The series is tied 2 games each as we return to the Forum in Montreal, where 22 Stanley Cup banners hang from the rafters. Stanley Cup champion New York Islanders hockey is brought to you by Bud Light. The best has a taste all its own, satisfying but never filling. So ask for Bud Light. By the Bank of New York, the bank New Yorkers call their own. Datsun Nissan, builders of high-quality cars and trucks for 50 years. Available at your Datsun dealer. By the people of Eastern Airlines, they earn their wings every day. By Mobil Super Unleaded Gasoline. Mobil Super Unleaded. It's really powerful. By your New York, New Jersey Buick dealers. When your New York, New Jersey Buick dealer gives you a price, believe it. And by Canon, proud to be the world's leader in 35mm photography and the official camera of the 1984 Olympics. Shot it wide. Rebounds off. Up too high. Nobody screening. As Walter runs into Smith. Look at Ryan Walter look up in the air saying, oh, no, now I'm going to get a penalty. For center ice, led by Janssen. Drop pass to Bossy. Moved in on the power play. Got checked by Trottier. Tipped it right on. He scores on the rebound. Trottier takes it off the pads of Petty. Puts it up top. A power play goal, and the Islanders lead 1-0. And a big goal for Brian Trottier. He broke through. The puck was loose. Again, Penny, it appeared that he had time to either trap the puck or knock it away. Here come the Islanders. Thomas Johnson down the right wing side. There's his play in front. There's the puck loose in front of Penny. And before he could reach out and grab it, Brian Trottier quickly slams it up into the top right-hand corner. There's the puck. It's a little loose, and Trottier actually had carried right up the goal stick. Penny robs him, and he robs him on the rebound as well. Turn in a moment. Rounds the net center. Gilbert was there, but checked by Chelios. Sutter has it again. Put it out in front, and then off the boards right to the side of the line, and it rebounds out into center ice. Chelios with it. Now to Green. Gilbert and Goring move up as they forwards. Chelios, the pad or ice stripe. Across the Montreal line, neat move on shot, and he scoops and scores! Brent Sutter gets a shorthanded goal. The Islanders lead 2-0. Kind of a goal that could cripple a team like the Montreal Canadiens. Steve Penny, who had stopped John Tonelli earlier. Beautiful play by Brent Sutter. Poor effort by Schutt. Not such a good one by the goaltender either, but it was a labeled shot just inside the goalpost. As Brent Sutter, a solo effort in a shorthanded situation. Gord Denis still in the penalty box. Dumped it in. Penny out of the net, cuts it off, works it around the boards. To Denis.
4.5 left. Scores his 7th goal of the playoffs. The Islanders win in Montreal, 3-1. Game 6 back at the Coliseum.
Saturday night. Let's go to the videotape. The Islanders in the visiting dark in Montreal.
in the first period. 2-1, 4.5 minutes left in the game for his birthday.
Isn't that something?
You
A lot
ought
of
to get it
people.
to him. You ought to get him.
Well, his birthday's not for a
December.
few months yet, but we'll get around to that. But a lot of action. A lot of people are getting
Good stuff.
excited about that.
It is. This is the time of the year, especially when the drive for 5 is going on. Everyone's interested in just how that will turn out. Stanley Cup action this time in Montreal. The Canadiens and the 4-time champion Islanders fighting for the right to face Edmonton in the Cup Finals. We've got the highlights. And an Academy Award for Islanders goalie Billy Smith. He makes a stop here, then maybe brushed by Ryan Walter. Down he goes. Watch this. Goes by a little air, and then down Smith goes, accepting for Billy Smith for the best imitation of a goalie going down. Anyway, the Islanders on the power play, and at 3:55, Brian Trottier on this rebound, and it's 1-0 Islanders. Still in the first, the Islanders short-handed. Watch the move. Brent Sutter throws on Steve Shutt. Goes right there, goes by him, fires into the upper right part of the net, 2-0 after 1. No score in the second, and then 12:39 into the third. The Canadiens' first score, Pierre Mondu with the puck, comes up with some nice footwork. Bingo, 2-1. But back came the Islanders. 3 minutes later, Pat Flatley bangs it in quickly, his 7th playoff goal. The Islanders winning it, the final 3-1. They now lead the series 3-2, 1 win away from
But
they didn't.
That's right. It's not a book, it's a game. Remember that. For the second year in a row, it'll be the Islanders and the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Oilers were already there, of course, and tonight, the Islanders, ho-hum, they wrapped up their series with Montreal. The boys from the island, after losing the first 2, decided to get serious in the last 4 and swept the Canadiens out of the playoffs. Clark Gillies got the first goal tonight, a backhander from out front. Now watch the second. Mike Bossy on the steal and the shot. Bingo, right there in the upper right-hand corner. He's the second-best scorer in the NHL, and that is saying a lot, folks. It's 2-0 with that goal. In the meantime, Billy Smith doing the job in the nets. Here he stops Guy Lafleur from point blank. Smith picking up yet another playoff win. And here in the third period, an insurance goal from the rookie, Pat Flatley, from out in front. That made it 3-0. The Islanders going on to win it 4-1. In the finals once again. Well, in the history of the Kentucky Derby, it literally just years the Astros end the Mets winning streak, a 10-6 final tonight at Shea. This afternoon, the Red Sox fell way behind.
He returned, but he went back to the locker room later. Still in the first, Clark Montreal 4-2, and Denis Potvin raising the Prince of Wales trophy. Now only Edmonton standing in the way.
Final that begins tomorrow in New York.
The Islanders have the edge in numbers as this series starts. Edmonton has won once in 12 games at the Nassau Coliseum, and that was 3 years ago. Since that time, they have lost 10 straight to New York, including a sweep in last year's final. Psychological advantage, the Islanders.
I think that depends on the Oilers. You know, if they feel that they want to give us that edge, we'll take it. But as far as we're concerned, we're going to play them as hard as we've ever played them, realizing that the only way we've beaten them and been able to keep this edge is by playing as good as hockey as we've ever played.
I have nightmares thinking what it would be like to lose, but I try not to think about it too long because, I'm paid to do a job here to play for the New York Islanders, and this is what we're here for, to work as a team towards the eventual goal of winning the Stanley Cup. And thank God, we've been blessed with 4 of them, and we want to do it again.
I'm going in there, and I'm going to play as if they've beat us the last 12 games. I think that's how we have to look at it. We can't expect them to be off their game or, not totally ready for us because we've beat them in the past.
Islander goaltender Billy Smith, who turned 99 into a 0 by shutting out Wayne Gretzky in last year's final, has his goals against average down to 2.35. Significantly lower than in any of the 4 previous Cup years.
Well, I think I'm moving better. And with my moving better, I think it's helping my defense. And also my defense are getting more accustomed to me. Like, we've played so many games now together. Everybody's getting accustomed to each other now. And they know what each guy's going to do. And I think it's making both of us look better.
Still more grist for the mill. The Islander power play, an anemic 4 for 39 before the Montreal series, has scored in 5 straight games, while the penalty-killing unit has stopped 15 in a row. But it is that vision of immortality that dwarfs all the other statistics for the Islanders. At the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, I'm Ed Randall, ESPN.
And that starts tomorrow night. I'll say the drive for 5 will end in 5. The Islanders are looking